It's your boy Deeflux, 103.7 KFM, episode 2 of In the Lab with my man Brother Beatbox. I guess we better go inside and see what he's saying.
It's Brother Beatbox. Natural selection, rhythm by numbers, and yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Yeah, short and sweet. Talk us through your setup, like what you use to make beats.
It's quite a simple sort of setup. I mean, everything MPC, old sort of Fostex portable drive, a couple of compressors, preamps, decks, all into Pro Tools. And yeah, keep it simple.
Okay.
And keep it going like that, mate.
And how do you use the equipment that you've got? So what do you do? Cause I guess you probably use different the preamps and the compressor for certain things. Like.
Yeah, I mean everything I do goes through the MPC. It's all based around that. Then it's into Pro Tools stuff, a lot of plugins, lots of synths and stuff are done through that. But the heart of it all kind of comes down to the MPC really, and building it through that, and then the compressors and stuff used for vocals, bass lines and those kind of bits. So yeah, work it like that.
So you're running there, that's the Echo 1000, right?
Yeah, 1000 kind of baby the range, but yeah, it's all sort of spec'd up, and yeah, I just thought it was, at the time, it's the one to go for really. At the time I was getting into beats and stuff.
Sure, so you benefit from the extended memory and everything like that.
Yeah, and definitely.
Flash card.
Yeah, having a flash card, the multiple outputs makes it much easier for multi-tracking into Pro Tools. So yeah.
Okay, so I dare say this has kind of answered itself already. Would you say, well, what's your favourite piece of equipment that you've got?
It's definitely the MPC. Yeah. Everything. I say even if I'm working with synths and those kind of bits, it still all goes first of all onto the MPC build like that. I mean that is like the notebook really. I make all the beats on that, and then it's all tracked out into Pro Tools.
Okay, so Pro Tools is like where everything gets to at the end. It's where it ends up. That's how you do your mixing. Yeah,
that's like I said, MPC is sort of the notebook, and then that's like the finished bit in Pro Tools.
See, now I know that you come from a background quite like me, where you didn't grow up on hip hop, like you grew up on like metal and rock music.
Yeah.
People have said a lot about your music's quite rhythm based, and I know particularly you played drums. That's what you did before you sort of got into hip hop, right? So, do you think that that's helped you like a lot to make beats? And
I think definitely, yeah, it has helped my kind of understanding of like beats and rhythm and sort of flow of tracks. I think because I'm not really I didn't grow up like learning pitch or tone sort of instruments. It's always been rhythm, and so yeah, from that it's all come from the beats, building those sort of stuff up. But then, I mean, I was a drummer in metal bands really, so going from those sort of different aspects, and then sort of bringing my beats aren't as busy as they would be like in a metal track. I'm much more conscious of trying to strip them down.
Yeah.
But then I'll add little percussions and shakers and things like that, just to kind of give the groove and kind of kick along with it really.
Okay. So who would you say your influences are then?
Well, Dilla, Odyssey, I rate really highly. Primo as well, the sort of way I chop up beats, more sort of like him. Knife Wonder, Oh No, Madlib, people like that really.
Okay. Sort of noticed that you've worked with quite a lot of American people, more than you have English people. So was that a conscious thing, or? No,
it kind of just happened really. When I started making beats and getting collabs and stuff, it was much more I was working with one UK MC, and then you came along, and then just people that were hitting me up for collabs with guys from the US. And then word kind of spread, and I got more and more through them. So it wasn't really a conscious thing, but it just kind of lent itself more that was the kind of calls I was getting. I think my beats do sound a bit more American than they do UK, but it was never a conscious thing to kind of not work with UK artists. I mean, I'm doing more with UK artists now. Now my name's out a bit more, and I'm doing more sort of stuff than it is. There are more kind of UK guys I'm finding to suit my sort of sound, but I think it is more of an American sound really.
I know you're massively into like your breaks and your samples as well, so is there any sort of particular things that you look for when you're sampling to make a track, like any particular artist that you always check for, or?
Labels and artists, well, I mean, yeah, a bit of both. The sort of people I look who are kind of affiliated with certain kind of labels and artists. A lot of stuff I've been doing recently has been a lot more sort of soulful sort of sound.
Okay.
Going much more into that, so looking for kind of breaks and stuff, and nice sort of Rhodes and strings and guitars, and sort of building them up that sort of way. I mean, I used to do a lot more with jazz and do those sort of bits, but then I moved more into sort of soul. but then I still kind of bring the Nat Select kind of sound over it and put the live sort of instruments and trying to get more of that sort of idea behind it.
Okay.
And when I first started making beats, it was always the idea that I had was to make, I wanted to play the music myself, but I didn't have the ability at the time.
Sure.
So I got more into sampling, and it kind of came full circle really, and I've got doing what I wanted to do really.
Okay, I mean, from that musical background that you've had, that kind of understanding of how bands work and knowing a lot of musicians, I bet that's kind of like made it a little easier to kind of pull that stuff in.
Yeah, I mean, definitely working in a band situation, I know kind of how to get sort of best out of people and know how to sort of work in a group really, rather than a lot of producers do struggle when they're on their own all the time, and going in and working with loads of different people can be a little bit daunting and a little bit of a mission really.
So tell me, what have you got coming up at the moment? Like, what, anything that people should be aware of? Any new releases? Or?
Well, we've got the Natural Selection album, My Numbers just come out, Gilby Simpson, Wild Child, Dr. Syntax, Sonny Jim, Tenchu, all those kind of people on there. I've got an EP coming out with an MC from LA called Destruct, and that's called Dank Soul. That'll be dropping hopefully around the New Year sort of time. I've just finished the beats for an EP with a London MC called Madman Speaks. Yeah, that would be out sort of New Year, sort of spring sort of time. Already started work on the second Nat Select album, and yeah, a few other little collabs and bits and pieces here and there, so cool. Keeping busy.
Spread love like Mike Zoo. Now the whole globe knows we connect like Huss and Smooth. Bang your heads like metal tunes, cause we be on point like masters of ninjutsu. Against odds like hatchets that we rise up like a civil war. Mics for defensive good. Size up the scene like a tape measure. Drop science on them like boffins who discover liquor in our free period. We speak on that bridge bear gap period. Your crew's delirious. Serious man, we find serenity fascinating. Stay alive like energies, day and night on the beats. Pen lyrics till my eyes wide shut, then I sleep on the paper sheets. Serve crews like maitre d's. 4 courses of feed source from my next world enter. We take beats.
Is there any shout outs you want to give to anyone that you work with? Anyone, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Deeflux, Kane FM.
Oh, don't worry about me.
Route 70 Lounge, Struck, Madman Speaks, Mikey T, DJ Fingerfood. All the people that have helped me, so yeah, big up.
Nice, there's definitely some names to check for there. Well, I know you're busy, like, peace, thanks very much for like taking the time out to speak to us.
Mate,
Peace.
We're rolling.
Cool. So, sat with my friend,
Smooth start, mate, smooth start.
Cut.